Hey guys, it's your girl Chef Joya, and this is Cooking with Compare, and it's grilling season. And today we're gonna do my recipe for jerk tofu skewers. We're gonna make the marinade, which is super easy. It consists of 4 ingredients, and we're gonna start by using some hot jerk marinade. Now, if you can't take the heat, I mean, you are working with jerk, but they do have a mild version that you can use. So we're gonna go ahead and add that to the bowl. If you don't want to make the jerk seasoning recipe, that's in my cookbook. If you don't have the time to make it, definitely come to Compare Foods and get one of these lovely jerk marinades. And make sure you get the seasoning that is in liquid form. It is fantastic. It has all the flavors in it, especially when you mix it with the pineapple nectar. You don't have to add anything else to it. And you can get it in mild and you can get it in hot. And baby, it's hot, okay? It's hot, all right? Then we're gonna add some pineapple nectar, which is actually gonna tone down the heat. Whenever I'm cooking recipes that require a fruit juice, I tend to always choose a nectar versus the actual fruit juice because it's thicker and it's richer and it allows the marinade to stick to it longer. And it's gonna thin out the jerk marinade as well. Then we're gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire. Now this Worcestershire sauce is vegan. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire. And then we're gonna add a little bit of grapeseed oil. And the reason we're adding grapeseed oil because we're using tofu and it's not gonna produce its own oil like when you grill meat, so you know how it releases oils. Tofu is not gonna release any oil, so we're gonna give it some oil, okay? So add a little bit more. And then we're gonna mix this all up. And our marinade is ready. Just that simple, easy, and fast. The best tofu to use when grilling is going to be your extra firm tofu. When you get your extra firm tofu, it's going to be in water, so you want to make sure you drain the tofu. You can put it in a colander. You can actually press it out between 2 paper towels. You can actually use a tofu press if you want to do all that. I just simply like to drain it, and I just allow it to drain in the colander for about 15 minutes or so, and then I leave it to sit. Now, typically, whenever I work with tofu, I always talk about marinating, so I'm gonna actually take this marinade and I'm gonna pour this right on top of my tofu. Okay, this is gonna be good. And you wanna make sure you get it coated. You don't wanna leave any pieces uncovered because if you leave it uncovered, it's gonna taste uncovered, okay? So we're gonna get that all on here. And you wanna make sure you don't handle it too much as far as touching it and flipping it around too much because it will crumble. So that's one thing about tofu, even though it may be extra firm, it can be a little bit sensitive. So just kind of like just whirl it around and make sure it has enough room in whichever container or bowl that you're using so you can actually get it coated on all sides. Now we're gonna assemble the skewers. These are just some of my favorite veggies, and you can use whatever veggies that you like, but when I think of Caribbean vegetables and pleats and things that go together, especially with jerk, I love pineapple. So a really quick and easy way to pick the perfect pineapple is really just by smelling it. And you'll just pick it up, smell it, and you can tell if it's a really good pineapple, and you can smell the sweetness because it really comes right out. And you also want to touch it. So if you're not going to use it for like 1 to 2 days, you don't want it to be too soft. You want it to be firm because it's going to ripen over time. But if you're going to use it right away, you want it to kind of feel like a ripe avocado. So when you cut in it, it'll be soft and sweet and ready to use. I love bell pepper and onion, and a good mushroom is a great substitute for meat as well, but even though I'm using tofu, I want the mushroom in there as well. So for the recipe, you can use either one of these mushrooms. You can use the traditional white button mushrooms, or you can use the portobello, baby bella mushrooms. Either one of these mushrooms work perfectly fine. We know the baby bella mushrooms has a little bit more flavor, a little bit more earthy, but whichever one you choose, you wanna make sure you clean them. You wanna make sure you remove the stems, get inside, clean them out use water. I know. Some people say use a damp cloth. No, we're gonna rinse them off. We're gonna wrench out all of it. Yes, I say wrench, because we're gonna get off all that dirt, okay? Because these bad babies are gonna go on the grill. We're gonna marinate them so it can soak up all that goodness, so it could be one of the best things you've ever had. And zucchini just gives it all around nice freshness to it. And then we also have the plantain, which is super ripe, which is gonna give a lot of sweetness to it. So for the recipe, we're gonna use a very ripe plantain. Now you wanna look for a almost black plantain. If it's not all the way black, get a yellow one. Keep it for a couple of days because trust me, it will turn black in just a couple of days. The blacker the plantain, the sweeter the plantain. And it's gonna be perfect for it. Now this is gonna be one of the things when you do grill it, and you'll see how we assemble it. We're gonna put it towards the end because it's going to cook fast. So we don't want the heat to be directly on it. So that's why we're gonna assemble it the way we're gonna assemble it. So I went ahead and add a little bit of jerk seasoning already to my zucchini. And this is just the order I like to arrange them in, and I don't stick in one order. But right now I'm gonna add my zucchini. Then I'm gonna add my onion, and I'm actually using a red and white onion. You can use one or the other, just whatever your preference is. I just like a lot of colors. It's all about eating your colors, all right? Then we're gonna add some red bell pepper, and you wanna make sure you cut your pieces in nice big chunks. You know, a kebab is always amazing when the pieces are really big. You don't want like little rabbit nibbles on it. You want nice big chunks of veggies. So next I'm gonna add my tofu chunks. Then we're gonna take some pineapple. And I like to put my pineapple right on top of my tofu just to give it a nice flavor when it starts cooking. So that pineapple juice go right down onto that tofu. So we're gonna move this down just a little bit. We're gonna add our mushroom. Then we're gonna add our plantain. All right, so, and let's get another piece of tofu on here. And let's top it with a red onion. And we're gonna do this to a few more skewers before we get ready to grill it. And when you're using your skewers, you wanna make sure you soak them in water for at least 30 minutes so they don't burn. Now, if you get your skewers and you put them right on the grill, indoor or out, they are gonna catch on fire. So you wanna make sure you put them in water for at least 30 minutes so it can soak up that water so it can just grill properly. You don't have to worry about your sticks burning. All right, so we're gonna put this on our hot grill pan. Y'all hear that sizzle? All right, so we're letting this cook. We're gonna let this cook about anywhere from 45 seconds to 1 minute. You don't wanna handle it too much because you don't wanna risk anything falling off the grill, but we are gonna have to turn it. So I'm just gonna lift it just a little bit to do a little checking on it. It has a nice little grill mark on it, so I'm gonna turn it on this other side. So the last minute of cooking, I added just a little bit more pineapple nectar to it just because I wanna add it right over my kebabs. Be careful with this. If you're inside, it might set off a smoke detector, but it's okay. Ooh. Now that we have our jerk skewers off the grill, we're gonna top it with a little bit of fresh cilantro for a garnish and for flavor, and it's gonna be absolutely delicious. All right, let's taste this bad baby. Already. Oh, dude, it's worked it. Oh, that smoky, girl, listen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know you're going to enjoy this recipe. Make sure you come back and you tell us how you enjoyed the recipe so much because I know you already are. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about Cooking with Compare, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.